Maria Salomia Skłodowska was born on November 7, 1867, in Warsaw, Poland, then under Russian rule. The youngest of 5 children, Maria grew up in a household filled with both intellectual curiosity and financial struggle. Her father, Władysław Skłodowski, was a physics and mathematics teacher. Her mother, Bronisława, was a headmistress at a prestigious girls' school. But life for the Skłodowski family was far from easy. Poland's political situation was tense. Russian authorities repressed Polish culture, banned Polish language in schools, and heavily restricted higher education for women. When Maria was only 10 years old, tragedy struck. Her mother died of tuberculosis. Despite the hardships, Maria's parents instilled in their children the values of education and resilience. She quickly proved herself a gifted child with a remarkable memory. By the time she finished high school at age 15, she graduated with a gold medal, the highest honor. But for a young woman in 1880s Poland, dreams of higher education were complicated. Women were not allowed to attend the official University of Warsaw. Determined to learn, Maria joined the clandestine Flying University, a secret network of classes for Polish youth, often held in private homes, where subjects forbidden by the Russians, such as Polish history and language, were taught. Still, Maria knew that to truly pursue her academic dreams, she needed to go abroad. France, particularly Paris, was the center of scientific research, but she had no money to get there. She struck a deal with her older sister Bronisława. Maria would work as a governess and send money to help Bronisława attend medical school in Paris. In return, when Bronisława graduated, she would support Maria's education. For several years, Maria worked for wealthy families, teaching children during the day, while secretly studying physics and chemistry at night. It was a lonely, exhausting time, but she never gave up on her dream. In 1891, at age 24, Maria finally arrived in Paris. She adopted the French form of her name, Marie. She enrolled at the Sorbonne University of Paris to study physics, mathematics, and chemistry. The transition was brutal. She was brilliant, but her French was limited. She lived in a tiny, freezing attic room, often skipping meals to save money for books. Yet, despite the hardships, she excelled. In 1893, she earned her degree in physics, first in her class. The following year, she completed a degree in mathematics, second in her class. Marie began researching magnetic properties of metals when a colleague introduced her to another physicist, Pierre Curie. Pierre Curie was a quiet, brilliant scientist with a passion for research. The two quickly discovered they shared not only intellectual curiosity, but also mutual respect and admiration. They married in 1895, forming what would become one of history's most famous scientific partnerships. At first, Marie continued working on her own research, but soon her attention turned to a mystery in the scientific world. Wilhelm Röntgen had discovered X-rays in 1895, and Henri Becquerel had found that uranium emitted strange rays that could pass through objects. What were these rays? Where did they come from? Marie decided to investigate, working in a cramped, poorly ventilated shed behind the school where Pierre taught. Marie laboriously processed tons of pitchblende, a uranium-rich ore, using primitive equipment. Day after day, she stirred cauldrons of boiling material, separating elements, measuring radiation. In July 1898, the Curies announced the discovery of a new element, polonium, named in honor of Marie's homeland, Poland. Later that year, they discovered another element, radium. Marie's work also introduced the term radioactivity, a phenomenon that would revolutionize physics, chemistry, and medicine. In 1903, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Henri Becquerel, Pierre Curie, and Marie Curie for their work on radioactivity. Marie became the first woman ever to receive a Nobel Prize. But fame did not change their humble lifestyle. They continued their research under difficult conditions, refusing to patent their process for extracting radium, believing scientific knowledge should belong to everyone. Tragically, in 1906, Pierre was killed in a street accident in Paris. Marie, devastated, threw herself into her work. That same year, she became the first female professor at the Sorbonne, In 1911, Marie won her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for her discovery of radium and polonium. She remains the only person in history to win Nobel Prizes in two different sciences. When World War I broke out, Marie realized X-ray machines could save countless lives. She developed mobile radiography units, known as little Curies, and trained nurses to operate them. By the end of the war, her units had treated over 1 million soldiers. Despite her extraordinary achievements, Marie faced discrimination and criticism, especially as a woman in science. She also suffered from chronic health problems, almost certainly caused by her long-term exposure to radiation. In 1934, she died of aplastic anemia, likely linked to her research. Marie Curie left behind a legacy that changed science forever. She pioneered research on radioactivity. She broke barriers for women in academia. She used science for humanitarian purposes. Her notebooks from the 1890s are still so radioactive that they are stored in lead-lined boxes and can only be handled with protective gear. Marie's life teaches us that perseverance can overcome almost any obstacle. True discovery demands sacrifice. Knowledge should serve humanity, not personal gain. From Warsaw's poverty to Paris's laboratories, Marie Curie's brilliance lit a path for science and for women around the world. She proved that determination and intellect know no gender, and that curiosity can change the world. Subscribe to Little English Studio for more extraordinary life stories. Like, share, and hit the bell so you never miss an inspiring tale.